Hello, I'm Joslyn Gardiner from My Perfect Image. Today I'm going to be speaking to you a little bit about the virtual gastric band procedure. You've received all of your information, your CDs, etc., as well as this video. Now I need you to pay attention to this video so that you can get the best results out of the program that I've sent to you. Now the first step about using hypnosis is the fact that it is a very safe process. You cannot get stuck in hypnosis at any time. It's not sleep. It is just a deep, deep relaxation with a purpose. And the purpose in this case is to have your imagination believe that you have had a gastric band surgery performed on you, whereby shrinking your tummy and making you eat less at each meal. So how does this work? Well, let's take a couple of steps backwards and just explain a little bit about why you have the issues that you do with weight. It isn't your fault, believe it or not, and most people will tell you, yes, it's about what you put in your mouth. Of course it is. But however, the reason that you have the problem that you have with weight is because you're eating unconsciously badly. So this program is designed to change the way and the relationship that you have with food so that you can start eating like a normal person would eat or a slim person would eat, and eat healthily unconsciously. So that means no diets, no cravings, no having to miss out on things, because you can decide. And after watching this video, I'm sure that you will understand why free will is so important, and going on a diet is going to sabotage you every single time. Now, does that mean with this program that you don't have to diet? Yes, it does mean you don't have to diet. But does it mean that you have to eat healthily? Yes, it does. And we're going to make it so that it is easy for you to make healthy choices rather than trying to use willpower to stop eating the things that you know are tempting for you. So let me go back and step back a little bit. Did you know that by the time you were 6 weeks old that you already had a very, very firm connection to emotional eating? Where did that start? Well, it started back when Mum came home from the hospital. She came home, and bless her heart, she had the very best intentions for you, her baby, and she came home with instructions from the nurse, the doctor, whoever it might have been. And those instructions were, this baby needs X amount of fluid, being water and milk. So halfway through the feed, the baby has had enough to eat. And you will have seen babies at every opportunity where the milk is absolutely pouring down the side of their face, they're choking because they don't want any more to eat, they're physically pushing the bottle away. But Mum's being told the baby needs to have this amount of milk, and to be doing the right thing for the baby, she's going to feed that baby that amount of milk, because otherwise she'd be a bad mum. So she's doing all the right things as far as what she's been given the instructions for, but they're the very worst things for the baby. Because what happens is that the baby learns very, very quickly that to please Mum and to have a happy mum, the baby needs to drink when Mum says to. So by 6 weeks old, that's a very firm, entrenched, unconscious habit. To eat when somebody gives it to you and not to say no, because that upsets them. The second thing that happens is between 0 and 7, which is our most informative years, and we're like sponges, we actually suck in all of the information that's been given to us around us. So we're sucking all this information in, and what happens when we get hurt? What happens when we're upset? What happens when something goes right, something goes wrong? We're either high, we're either low, and we get food. We get chocolates because it's a treat. We bake a cake when we go to visit people. If somebody dies, we have a lot of food. When somebody gets married, we have a lot of food. Our whole family, our whole social, our whole life revolves around food. No matter where you are, even the poorest of poor will still have food as a treat for a social occasion. Don't you agree? So by the time we're 7 years old, in our unconscious mind, we have all of these beliefs, emotions, and feelings, if you like, associated with food. and most of the time sweet, fatty, or pastry type food. So what happens as we get older and we have any emotional issue that comes up, whether it's good, bad, sad, glad, it doesn't make any difference, we will associate that with food, because food will either make us feel better or celebrate with us or do all of those things. So we're already on the course of overeating. Not only that, we don't know when to stop, because in our unconscious mind we have this little thing called an appetite. It means I'm hungry or I'm full. And by the time we are about 7 years old, we have never really felt that we're hungry, in most cases. And we have overridden the I'm full button so many times in our unconscious mind that it's lost. So even when your unconscious mind, when you're out at a party right now, last week or last night, and your unconscious mind is sending you messages, actually you don't need that, you're full, I'm full, you've got so used to overriding that you don't know what to do, and you just carry on. Added to that problem is the fact that we have TV now. TV means that we sit in front of the TV, we're constantly eating our meals in front of TV, we don't focus on the food that we're eating. So what does that do for us? It just means that the signal from our mind to our tummy is distorted. Eating is a visual thing. When you go to a restaurant and you look at the plate of food, it's what you see that makes you get the reaction in your body that is going to tell you whether or not you're going to like it or not. If you hate a food and they put it in front of you, immediately you're not hungry. But if they put your favourite food in front of you, you can eat till the cows come home. And part of that is the fact that you look at it, you start eating, your juices in your mouth and your saliva glands are already anticipating what you believe is going to be really nice for you. Add in a few social people around you and you're done. You'll keep eating until there's nothing left. However, your body will still be saying to you you've had enough. We also eat too fast. In those same situations, we will sit down in front of the TV, we've got our mind on the game, might be the rugby, it might be whatever your favourite sport is, or your favourite cartoon or your favourite social program, but you're fixated on the TV, there's no connection between your food and your eyes, so there's no message going to your stomach that you're actually eating, but you're shoveling the food and you eat way too fast, it takes 20 minutes to get down here, and what happens? We don't know we've eaten. So we get up mindlessly, in a trance, walk to the kitchen, get some more food and come back again, then get distracted sometimes. And all of a sudden we look down and we think to ourselves, oh gee, I'm so full, why did I get that for? Horrors upon horrors, if I don't eat it, people will think I just had eyes too big for my belly or something. And there's all that social stigma of taking food that you didn't need. And you see it constantly when people go out to buffets and things like that, where they eat all of this, take all this food, but they leave bits and pieces all over the place because they couldn't possibly eat it all, in most cases. Okay, so we just don't do that connection. So part of this program that you're going to be working on is, number one, getting a reality check on how big a portion of food is. Number one, and I'll come back to that in just a moment. You're also going to take these 6 steps, which you will have a copy of this piece of paper, and I want you to pay particular attention to this, because this is the 8 steps, the 8 golden rules that you need to follow to get the best results out of this program. The first one is that you're going to eat the right amount of food. You're going to eat 3 meals a day, and it's going to be a handful size portion of food. Now, why do we say a handful? Let me give you with the gastric banding, if I was to tell you that I was going to shrink your tummy down to the size of a golf ball, which is about this big, immediately your unconscious mind would be saying that that's too small. If I said a tennis ball, which is slightly bigger, you would be thinking, gee, that's not much food. However, if you go back and I give you a reality and a picture that you can actually accept in your unconscious mind as being true for you, what can we do? Well, the reality is that when we were hunter-gatherers way back when humans were invented, however that works for you spiritually, we only had two things. We had two hands, one to hold our food, one to eat with. Okay, whichever way you eat. Now our ancestors, we're here, so they obviously lived quite successfully that way. And that is the way that our meals and our stomach and everything else was designed. Let me explain that a little bit further. If you look at your hand, okay, your hand is in perfect proportion to your feet, to your arms, to your head, absolutely everything. If you have a look at the space between here and here is the same distance as it is between your ankle and your knee. Between here and here is apparently the same distance between your knee and your thigh. Every single part of us is being built in proportion. And our hands have been built in proportion for our stomach. A handful of food, your hand, your stomach, is the perfect size meal for you. So what I want you to do is I want you to have a look at your hand. And your hand has, obviously, the palm. That is where your protein goes. When you're trying to work out how much food that you should be eating, your protein should cover the palm of your hand, this part here only. Your high GI carbs fit in that triangle just there. Not in that shape, just in that about proportion of your plate full of food. Now, these piece here is the fingers there. That's for the low GI food that actually goes in your salads or your green vegetables or that type of thing. Those foods. Now, if you want to eat more, right, all you have to do is open your fingers. Cup your hand, and you'll notice that when you open your fingers, this gets bigger so you can have more of that food, but this gets smaller. The reason being, these are all carbohydrates. These are the things that your body has to burn every single day before the protein that you eat can burn the fat stores that you've got. So the fastest way that you can reduce your fat stores is to eat more protein than you do carbohydrates. So if you go and eat lots of high GI carbohydrates, the protein will use that first. You won't shed any weight. You might feel healthier, you definitely will, in most cases. But these high GI carbohydrates that I'm talking about, they're the white things. The things like potatoes, rice, pasta, white breads. They're also the orange things like sweet potato, pumpkin, carrots, and the orange fruits like nectarines, apricots, pawpaw, mango. Very, very high in sugar base. So they're the high GI foods that, while on their own they're not bad for you, if you eat too much of it and you're trying to reduce the amount of weight that you're carrying, you just can't do it, and you won't do it. Okay, you need to eat less carbohydrates than protein to burn fat. It's as simple as that. So when you're thinking about and when we're doing and you're listening to the hypnosis, when I'm talking about the perfect handful size meal, it is your hand and your stomach. It is absolutely perfect for each other. You can live 3 to 4 minutes without air. You can live 3 to 4 days without water. You can live 63 days without food before your body starts to break down. So take it from me, cutting back to a handful of food is all you need. And for most of us that have weight issues, we have a lot of days that we can live added on to that 63 days with just reducing the amount of food that we eat. And you will find that you will be healthier, you will drop weight automatically, unconsciously, without even thinking about it, just from following those rules whatsoever. So this hypnosis is about tricking your unconscious mind, getting your unconscious mind to believe that it has had a virtual gastric band. So how do we go about doing that? In your mind, we have two sections. Like I said before, we've got our conscious mind and our unconscious mind. Inside our conscious mind, we have all of the data that we are bombarded with every day. Thousands and thousands and trillions of pieces of information every day. We have a filtering system that actually filters out the things that are not important to us. That filtering system I like to call our values. Because what we have no value on, we don't even notice in this world. And if we did, we'd go bonkers. These 5 things are our 5 senses. So what we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we smell, and what we feel. It's as simple as that. That's as much as the information that goes in there. When it gets in here, our unconscious mind is our thinking mind. Okay, so this is where we decide, we analyze, we condemn, if you like, or we judge, we accept, we decline, we say yes, no, and here we have, like I said before, free will. Free will is one of the few things that people cannot ever take away from you. You always have choice, you always have free will. You'll either agree to do what they want you to do, or you agree to do what you don't want to do, but either way it's a choice. Okay, so what happens in our thinking mind with hypnosis is, it is so important for when you are in a trance, or to get into a trance, should I say, for you to be able to accept everything that is being suggested to you as if it was your own idea. With hypnosis, we cannot make you do something that you don't want to do. Free will is in our way. Your values is in our way. For us to get access into your unconscious mind to change your beliefs, your emotions and your feelings around food or around anything for that matter, we need you to accept unconditionally, without question, everything that we tell you. Your values will protect you, always. Because if it has no relevance to you and no importance to you, your values won't even notice it. That is your protection. We cannot make you do something that you don't want to do, or would not normally do. You cannot get locked in hypnosis. So the suggestions that you will get on the CDs that you're going to listen to are perfectly safe. They are there and have been designed in a way to trick your unconscious mind into believing that you're having surgery, number one. And of course you know that you're not having surgery. But nothing in this world changes without first a thought that comes out of your thinking mind and believing that it's true for you. Because in here, everything that is there, good or bad, true or false, for us, for everyone, is true for you. And that is the very, very secret of a good result as far as hypnosis goes. For you to believe unconditionally, 100%, that what the story, if you like, that you've been read in the hypnosis is true for you. And the more you make it true for you, the more that you believe about the result and make that true for you, the more successful, the quicker and faster the weight will drop off you, and you will become slimmer, unconsciously, with no effort whatsoever. And the comment that I get constantly from people is, I didn't know it could be this easy. So I look forward to hearing your results, seeing your results, and please send me emails and let me know exactly how you go. Thank you very much for your time today.